Welcome back to the podcast. As always, we appreciate everybody who's joining us. This is episode 44 of Escambia Empires, where our goal is to shine a light on local entrepreneurs and business owners in the Pensacola area. So if you're joining us on YouTube, you can see that we have a new studio setup, this is the second time that we've revamped everything, but we're going to keep this one for a while. We actually had some feedback that people missed the table setup. So we moved from the couches that we had before. If you had ever seen us on YouTube, we moved from the couches and now we're back at a table so we can feel a little bit closer to the guests as we're talking, and everybody has some space to put their hands and things like that. It's just a lot more comfortable all around. So as always, I am joined by my brother and co-host, Danny. How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing very good tonight.
Good.
Jojo. We have Jojo in the house.
Yeah.
Hi.
So it's just us. We wanted to try out the new setup this evening, kind of get things up and running. And we're going to test out a new format for the show as well. We want to continue with the regular questions that we have for everybody who we bring on the show in terms of learning about their business and how they got to where they are and things that they find, lessons they've learned along the way. But also at the very end of every episode, we want to start doing 5 quick questions that we ask every single guest just to get the same kind of information from out of everybody, like what's your favorite book that's made the biggest impact on you, or your favorite restaurant in Pensacola, just some things that are super, super basic, so we can learn from and not even learn from,
take something away.
Just some interesting information. So
that's right.
We figured this episode we would introduce you guys to the new setup. It's going to be a super quick episode. And also we wanted to just go through these questions ourselves.
Yeah.
So everybody
start with us.
Yep. Familiar with these. So Danny, let's go ahead and start with you since you are on the right.
Okay.
Number 1, what is an accomplishment that you are most proud of, either personal or in business?
So you asked me this a few minutes ago, and I thought about it. I'd say there's several things that I'm proud of. But
overachiever. It's one thing, man.
But I was just going to say, like, to narrow it down, and I'm going to say the same thing about the apps because there's so many apps that are useful to me, but we'll get to that question when it comes. So my biggest...
We'll wait on that for later.
Personal achievement is, I would say, moving down to Pensacola. And the reason I say that is because that, for me, that was the biggest thing that I did to step out as me and my own family to accomplish. So Jojo and I had bought a house when we first got married up in Illinois, and moving down here, it was very up in the air. It was uncomfortable. It was honestly something I never thought I would do. And so it's my biggest personal achievement because that was kind of the tipping point for my life to be like, you know what? If I wanted right now to go move to Montana, I could make it happen. Realistically, everything would be okay.
Yeah.
It's all just about determination, trusting God,
it's all
and
about
making it happen. Yeah. So I would say that changed my life in a lot of ways, and so that's my biggest personal achievement.
Yeah. Once we were down here, it was like it was good, and obviously it helps to have family nearby, but like the process of moving is always so scary, especially like jobs, housing, all the basic needs.
Yeah. Well, after moving, I feel like after any move though, you just realize like,
it's not
what was I scared of?
Yeah.
It's like nothing really.
After that 16-hour drive.
Yeah. That was a very
800
long
miles
drive.
later.
Oh my goodness. We'll save everybody that story.
Yeah. Seriously.
That was super long. So, okay. Your move to Pensacola. I feel like that's a great answer. And to be honest, in just thinking about some of the things that I'm most proud of you for, that's definitely one of them. Just making that leap and just jumping down here. And now, again, looking back on it, it's like, well, glad we did that.
Yeah.
What else would we be doing
right
right now if we weren't here? So
I appreciate that response.
Yeah, absolutely. So number 2, what is your favorite business book? And
my
why?
favorite business book. Let me pull up my list real quick.
Of the many he's read.
It's going to be hard to narrow down.
Narrow down.
So there's all the classics, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That one was influential in my life as well.
Favorite book and why?
Favorite book. Okay, so The One Thing by Gary Keller has been my favorite book so far.
Really?
Because that's helped me narrow down a lot. Kind of how do I attack my day? Well, I prioritize it. And by prioritizing, I'm not creating a to-do list. I'm not developing something that floats or that can be changed. It's setting in stone what has to be done.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for, attacking anything in your workouts. What do you have to do before you walk out of this gym? What do you have to do in your diet? What do you have to do in business? It just really helps narrow things down by developing the perspective of having one major thing that you perform before you quit the day.
100%. I think it's good to get out of that show up mentality, like, showing up and putting in the time. That's good. Of course, obviously you have to go to the gym, but unless you're doing effective things, you're not going to see any results.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that, where it helps you get out of that to-do list kind of rut where you're just showing up. You have to do effective things.
Exactly.
And that's one thing I like about the one thing. I agree. What's the most useful app on your phone?
The app's Scannable.
That's
and the
really
reason
good.
I say that is because, and I know I covered it before, there's many apps that I find extremely useful that I could recommend to anybody above this app, but the reason I'm picking this app is because in a pinch, many times it's helped me perform when I don't have a scanner or a printer available to be able to scan something. It's helped me adapt and help others who don't have access to smartphones or whatever, computers, to be able to see effectively the documents that I have to share.
Yeah,
with
so
them.
basically for those who don't know, Scannable is just an app where you can put a sheet of paper on a table and just basically take a picture of it.
Yeah,
and
literally.
It scans
Scan
it.
the document.
Yeah, and it scans it really, really accurately. Even in lower light conditions, it really does a really good job scanning, and then it converts it straight to a PDF. You can email it right from your phone, save it to your desktop from your phone. It's really super nice.
whatever you need to do with it.
Yeah, big shout out to Nathan Holmes for showing me that. That was
Really? He
forever
showed you
ago.
that?
He showed me Scannable.
And it's free.
Yep.
That's the other plug I want to
Yeah,
put
it
in
is
there.
free. All right, favorite restaurant in Pensacola?
Favorite restaurant so far, the one that stuck out to me the most is Tin Cow. They have several different meat options. You can build your own burger and stuff like that. It's affordable on top of it, and it's on Palafox, so you got that downtown lifestyle as well.
Oh yeah, Tin Cow, Danny's favorite restaurant. All right. Before we wrap it up, where can people find and connect with you?
Instagram is the best place to find me, but I'm also on Facebook. All you have to do is look up my name. I'm on there as Daniel Warner, not Danny. I've been getting away from Danny, but my Instagram handle is still at Danny Warner. So
there you go.
And then LinkedIn, of course.
Yep.
Every professional should be on LinkedIn.
I agree. I actually agree more now than I used to. I used to not like LinkedIn.
Really?
Especially when I was in college. I was like, I go to accounting class with these 10 people, and they all just requested to... I'm like, I don't
Connect
actually
with
know
you.
who you are. I feel like people on LinkedIn more so than other social medias just connect with everybody that they see.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really know you.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway.
a good point.
All right, Joann.
Hello.
What is an accomplishment that you are most proud of, whether personal or in business?
I would say personal. Just recently, we obviously we finished 75 hard.
Did you?
I know. I know that we've kind of made it a thing where we don't like to talk about it, or plug it or anything.
Yeah, honestly,
don't want to be
I don't mean
annoying
to put you on the
workout
spot,
people.
But this is the first time we're talking about finishing on the podcast. So
Yeah,
go
because we
ahead.
did talk
You
about
have the
starting
floor.
it. That's right.
So something that when Danny and I were dating, obviously Danny as a teenager, he was super into fitness and everything. I, being the person that never even played a sport, I was like, I'm so excited to get to that point where I'm working out with you and everything like that. And 75 hard did that for me. It got me to that point where I'm his workout buddy, and it's not me dreading and being I don't want to go to the gym. It's me being we have to go to the gym. I want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Not only we have to, but I want to. So I would say that mindset, that switch is, I'm proud of
Is
that.
what 75 hard gave you.
Yeah, that's huge.
Mhm.
After
That's
75 days, you learn that those kind of habits, they're there as a benefit and not just, there's a transition that happens from hating the exercise to it's you kind of look forward to it.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is weird
exactly.
to talk about. But
it becomes a different environment than what it used to be to you.
yeah,
So.
100%. All right. Favorite business book and why? Or favorite book in general?
I really liked the book Thank You for Arguing. It was actually the first book that wasn't fiction that I read recently. If you know anything about me and anything about my family, we like to argue. We're a family. We should have all been lawyers. But
That's a good way to put it.
yeah, we just like to argue back and forth, and it's mostly friendly. But the book just kind of goes through kind of debating and just different things like that. I found it super interesting and helpful.
Okay, good to know. And what's the most useful app on your phone?
I would say Nike Run Club, because the guided runs are just so different. And Coach Bennett, I love like listening to him just kind of tell you how you're supposed to feel and like make me not hate running as much. I'm just like waiting for him to count me down, and he's just like, gonna count you down at 5. I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So I like Nike Run Club.
Okay,
good
sounds
answer.
good. And favorite restaurant in Pensacola?
I would say I get most excited about going to McGuire's, not just because of the food, but because of the atmosphere. I know like it's just like fun, and there's like a bunch of Irish things everywhere. The dollar bills are cool, and different things like that. I don't know.
Definitely about the atmosphere.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap it up, where can people find and connect with you?
I would.
Do you want them to find and connect with you?
No. Just kidding. I'm on Instagram mostly. Like that's the place that I post the most. I'm on Facebook too, but I don't really like go on there every day or anything like that. So Instagram.
Okay, sounds good. All right, I'll go jump through these for myself, and then we will go ahead and wrap it up. One thing I wanted to say before I do this is if anybody listening has any suggestions for questions that they'd like to hear from every guest, not just specific guests, but if you have a question that you think that would be really good generally for every person who comes on the podcast, go ahead and just shoot us a DM on the social media platform of your choosing, and we'll consider that. We'll take that under advisement. We're always looking to improve, I suppose.
That's right.
So an accomplishment that I am most proud of, personal or business, it kind of ties in for both of them. Number one would definitely be dropping out of college to get my real estate license. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that was the scariest in my life, just that it absolutely terrified me, and it turned out really well. Been very blessed. God has provided for me since then.
It's a big life decision.
100%. And that kind of ties in with getting my real estate license. It would definitely be getting my broker's license last month as well, after 2 years in the business. That's like the minimum required time. And now at 23 years old, being a broker associate in Florida, it's really super rewarding. So that's definitely what I would say I'm the most proud of and thankful for having been able to accomplish. My favorite business book would definitely be 4-Hour Work Week, actually. I'm reading it my 3rd time through right now, back to back. There's been a lot of books, like you said, Dan, that I've read and felt very learned a lot from. But this one has been one of the biggest, just in not even so much in terms of about the traveling or things like that. 4-Hour Work Week, basically the premise is how to outsource more of your work and be able to work, not necessarily work less, but work smarter and work better, and not just doing things like work for work's sake, not just doing things just to feel busy. And it's really easy to fall into that rut, like I said in the beginning, of you have to be spending X amount of time in your business per week, or it's easy to look at other people and be like, well, I'm probably spending way more time than he is. Well, but that's not the point. Who's more effective? It's not just about the time spent. So that's why I've really loved the 4-Hour Work Week, and I'm reading it again and again just to try and drill those concepts home. The most useful app on my phone, what was I going to say before, Dan? I told you what it was. I don't even remember. I'd say probably Notion is...
Notion,
Yeah, Notion is an app that I use the most often, especially on my computer, because we use it for task management and deal management and everything, pretty much like a database and everything.
Yeah.
I love Notion, and they have an iPhone widget app. So I get in there anytime I think of anything that needs done. I get into that widget, and I'll just type something in there. So anytime I log on my computer, I can see a list of everything. Like when you're driving or getting dressed or anything like that, you have those little things like, oh, I can't forget to do that. That's helped me kind of have that quick capture where I never ever forget something that's little, like small.
Just throw it in your tasks.
Yep, 100%. Yeah. So I really, and the other one, I got after you for having too many books. I will say,
you already started, so you gotta say it now.
About Umail is my other favorite app right now that I've just discovered. It's free also. And it basically gives you the option to customize through your carrier. So we have Verizon. It gives you the option to customize different greetings for different numbers. So if there's like a number that you've blocked, they'll get like an out of service number, or you can set certain personal contacts to get a certain voicemail, and then unknown numbers. You can set different voicemails, and then if somebody leaves a voicemail, it automatically transcribes it for you, and the transcriptions are like 95% accurate. and it emails you a transcription. So you can instantly, or you can have it text you, I think, as well in the premium version. But you can instantly look down and say, oh, so-and-so, this is what they're calling about. I can either call them back now because it's an emergency, or that can wait till later. So that really, I have loved YouMail. Favorite restaurant in Pensacola? Man, I probably would say Crabs. I like McGuire's a lot too, but Crabs to me is just like, I love anytime we go to Crabs. Yeah, anytime we go to Crabs, we're spending time on the beach, and so I really just enjoy that beach and restaurant kind of vibe. I really enjoy Crabs.
Good answer.
Crabs sponsor us on the podcast. We want you to sponsor us. And then before we wrap it up, where can people find and connect with you? If you don't already know that, then I'm not sure what you've been doing.
Yeah, check the description.
Yeah, check the description
always in there.
Of pretty much every episode. We're on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. My phone number is 850-876-9711. I'll one-up you guys. So you guys can just call me directly if you need anything, or if there's any questions I can answer for you. We appreciate everybody listening to this episode. Let us know in the comments, again, if you think of any other questions that you'd like to hear from guests in the future. If you have any input of your own, tell us what your favorite business book is, or things like that, what you're most proud of. So appreciate everybody for joining us for episode 44.
Yeah.
And we will see you next week for episode 45. Thank you, guys.